Okay, I think we're about ready to get started. Let's do it. All right. So we kind of got a live one going on here. This just came out just yesterday. But there's a little bit of backstory, but basically there seems to be a little bit of family drama happening between Billy Corgan and Bill Burr. So we found out about a month ago that Billy Corgan of Smashing Pumpkins fame was on the Howie Mandel podcast.
Tell me your Bill Burr story.
So,
and he basically goes on to reveal that he may, in fact, be the half-brother of Bill Burr. And, of course, when you look at them and you see their resemblance to one another, it's like, oh, man, well, they may very well be, related. And so our good friend Howie Mandel decides to pursue this even further. And a month later, yesterday, has on Bill Burr and does a little bit of a surprise drop-in of Billy Corgan. And so this is not unprecedented as far as the Howie Mandel kind of universe of podcasting, and just in general, he seems to have somewhat embraced the cringy moments of being in entertainment. So we have a story from Patrick CC, who does some great videos. Not always my favorite, but he does some great entertainment coverage. So let's just catch a little bit of that.
You know what they say, you either die the hero or live long enough to start a podcast and people realize they actually hate you. This couldn't be more true for Howie Mandel, who has become so disliked that even Dana White walked off his podcast within 20 seconds of being introduced.
Only an amazing businessman. You are an inspiration. You are a philosopher. The way you do business, the way you conduct your business and your friendships and media is I'm jealous. But Dana, I can't thank you enough for being here.
And thank you for all the kind words. I appreciate it. I am so tired of doing podcasts. I'm literally done with them. I'm not doing any more podcasts.
However, the podcast that changed...
Okay, so he walks out on that podcast, and that was very odd. Dana White does. There's speculation on whether or not that was, real or not. Let's see.
Say that again?
In the past, for big events like Conor versus Aldo, you had them walking down the streets of Las Vegas. Do you think we could get one of those trailers for 300?
Well, now I have to, now that you said it, I guess, right? I got to figure something out.
You're welcome, everybody.
Thank you.
And, this week you went viral for your new dislike of podcasts. Is there no point anyone asking you to join those again?
Yeah, please. You know where I'm at with the podcast. I feel like fucking Jordan Peterson every time I turn on Instagram. I'm on a fucking podcast. Yes. No more podcasts, please. Podcast it out.
Okay, so that doesn't really tell us much, but I don't know. That seems like it was kind of manufactured more than anything else. Yep. Dana White reveals shocking podcast walkout was planned. Back in February, The UFC CEO is going through a typical pre-fight car wash where he'll make appearances on a slew of podcasts and radio shows to promote an event. In doing so, White made headlines joining comedian Howie Mandel for his podcast before proclaiming seconds into the interview, "I am so fucking tired of doing podcasts." White then removed his headphones and walked out of the studio. Mandel and his other guests sat in stunned silence for a few moments as White exited. Now, White revealed the whole thing was actually a setup that he did as a favor to Mandel after meeting him the same day. So apparently there's probably a clip of this as well. So we're going through all kinds of stuff, and Mandel goes, "Would you do me a favor?" I said, "Yeah, what's up? Would you come in and get up and walk off my podcast?" I go, "I would be fucking honored to walk off your podcast because I am so fucking sick of doing podcasts. It's not funny." Sorry, that's my best Dana White. We go in there and do it, right? He's like, "Take this to the grave." I said, "Done. I'll take it to the grave," which was obviously bullshit. Okay, so yeah, I mean, it was all probably, a work, quote unquote, a work. If you're not familiar in wrestling parlance, a work is basically faked, something fabricated, something that you make up in order to create some tension. Now this from Patrick Ceci, I think, is actually something that did truly happen. So basically, I'm not going to go into the whole thing. But God, what is Homeboy's name? Rob? Okay, Robert Eiler. So Robert Eiler, who plays AJ Soprano, and Jamie Lynn Sigler, who plays Meadow Soprano, have a podcast called Not Today, Pal, and they have Howie Mandel on this podcast. Their podcast is part of the YMH network, and they have Howie on. Howie doesn't do any real, prep for the interview, which is regrettable because Robert is actually also a germaphobe and wanted to talk about it with Howie, and it becomes really uncomfortable. It becomes really not fun.
She was on probation being tracked by a parole officer. But Rob didn't even think he was joking and even talked about how he once dated a girl on probation.
I don't not let somebody do it. I just, after 3 weeks of dating, if they can never do it, I just go, I can't do this anymore. And then I'm gone, instead of trying to be like...
So anyway, it was this really uncomfortable interview between the three of them, and it goes on to create its own little, drama within their podcast, Not Today, Pal, that ends up cycling back to his podcast, Howie Mandel Does Stuff. But really, that's neither here nor there. What really brings us to today is a podcast, an episode of the Howie Mandel podcast that happened about a month ago with Billy Corgan. So let's watch that.
Tell me your Bill Burr story.
So about 10 years ago, it sounds about right time-wise, one of my brothers was having a birthday party, and my stepmother was there, who was obviously married to my mother, not my real mother, but my stepmother.
Who was married to your father.
Yes, but who I grew up with.
Right.
And my stepmother said to me, "Do you know who Bill Burr is?" Now, at that point, I'd never heard of Bill Burr. I didn't know who he was. I didn't know he was a comedian or he could have been the guy down the street.
Right.
And she said, "Well, he's this comedian, da-da-da." And I think I even somehow called up a picture on a phone. And I kind of noticed right away, gee, he really looks like my father. Bill Burr looks more like my father than Bill Burr looks like me, or I look like Bill Burr. So I said to my mother, like, well, why are you asking me this? You know, I thought maybe the first thing she was just going to say, oh, he just thought you noticed the resemblance.
Is this his mom or is this his stepmom? I'm sorry, I need to get this right.
Your father.
Yes, but who I grew up with.
Right.
One of my brothers was having a birthday party, and my stepmother was there, who was obviously married to my mother, not my real mother, but my stepmother.
Who was married to your father.
Yes, but who I grew up with.
Right.
And my stepmother said to me,
at a brother's
do you know
party.
who Bill Burr is? Now, at that point, I know Bill Burr might be one of the children that your father sired in his days on. So I said to my mother, like, well, why are you asking me this? You know, I thought maybe the first thing she was just going to say, oh, he just thought you noticed the resemblance. She goes, I think it might be one of your father's illegitimate children. Bill Burr might be one of the children that your father sired in his days on being a traveling musician. This is a true story. I'm not making up. There's no joke in this. This is a true story. I've never told this anywhere, honestly.
Wow.
So I said to my stepmother, I said, okay, that sort of works. And I looked at Bill's age, and we're similar age. And my father did once tell me that I had a half-brother named Bill, who was basically born around the same time as me. He told me on my 18th birthday. This is all totally true. I swear to God. Bottom of my heart, cross my heart, hope to die. So, yes, I see your face. So I said, well, how many other possible illegitimate children does Daddy have? Because he did tell me about this one Bill. And again, I didn't know that Bill was a famous comedian. He could have been a guy just working down the street at the Laugh Factory in Chicago, you know, or whatever. I had no idea.
Okay, so evidently Bill... So, taking this at face value, Bill Burr and Billy Corgan, or is it Corgan? I guess it's Corgan. I always forget. But Smashing Pumpkins Bill and comedian Bill share the same father, if this is to be believed. But also Bill Burr's whole shtick has a lot to do with his dad and growing up with his dad. So How could the timelines really work out here? I'm not following.
Who he was. None.
That's why I'm skeptical.
0. And she goes, I think there's 12 total. Well, he was a traveling musician.
With a load of sperm.
Well, God.
So, and this is stepmom to his actual father. So, in order for this to be the same guy, this guy has to have ended his family that included Bill and then gone and created or sired. The two families overlapping don't quite make sense to me.
So I've never brought it up. I certainly know people who know Bill, and I've never gone to them. But I did. The one thing I did do was I went and looked up Bill's history. And saw, I think he was raised on the East Coast, Boston, something like that. And, it says these are his parents. And, his life looks pretty normal. If I'd seen, he was adopted or maybe something. But so I've never brought it up. But when you came up to me today talking about Bill Burr,
Bill Burr, because show the both pictures. Should we call Bill Burr and tell him the story?
I don't want to be made fun of by Bill Burr. He's very funny, and I really don't want the psychological darts in my heart. So...
Because I can call him. I have his number.
All respect to Bill Burr. He's obviously very talented, very funny.
You showed me, I was telling you about this, and you showed me a picture of your father.
Okay, and what was your reaction?
Oh my God. Can we post a picture? Can we show a picture of your father?
There's you can find ones that do look like Bill Burr, but I mean there's a bunch of him playing with me and stuff like that.
Christ.
So, but the one I showed you, the reason I showed you that one, because I wanted you to have that reaction. When I first saw Bill Burr, and again, when I first saw Bill Burr, I'd never heard of him, seen him.
Is this a possibility? We got to get both of you to take a 23andMe.
Just let me finish the one thing. The first time I ever saw Bill Burr's face, again, I had no idea who he was. Okay. He could have been the guy next door or the most famous comedian on the earth. I had no idea. The first time I saw his face, I thought, oh my God, he looks like Daddy. Like I had an immediate reaction. And anybody that is in my inner circle that knows this story, anytime they ever, and there, obviously people knew my father, when I go, doesn't Bill Burr look like Daddy? Or what do you think? And they all have the same reaction, like, oh my God, he really looks like your father.
What is the name of your father? What was the name of your father's band that he toured with?
He had different bands. None had any kind of renown.
Wow. Do you know what club he played in the Boston area?
Shakey's, you know, Shakey's Pizza.
Oh my God! Wait till I tell
So,
Bill about his mom.
All right, we're gonna do just a quick, stream health check, just real quick, just to make sure that I haven't completely botched this. Hang on just a second. Okay, we're good. Although my wife is coming home, so the entire house is about to erupt into a cacophony of action. Give me a second. Let me just pause my mic, or just... All right. Let's see. Do we get everything set back the way that it's supposed to be? Let's find out. Okay. So, looks like we're back. So now we have today's podcast. Having a good time.
Getting on an airplane just the other day. This dirty cowboy came my way, sat next to me and I kicked off his shoes. His sweaty toes out, and what was I to do? I got the blues, the Bill Burr blues. I got the blues, yeah.
I feel like everybody in entertainment carries a water bottle with them. I mean, maybe it's just a good practice to be hydrated, but I don't do that. I don't think I ever
Thank you
will.
so much. Sonny in the Black Pack is the
I like
music.
coffee.
Bill Burr, you are. First of all, I want to say that I watched you last night on Kimmel. You were hysterical. You taking calls?
No, I'm shutting my phone off. Being a professional. First of all, you didn't even tell me this thing started. You just walked in and it was all going.
That's what we do.
By the way, he had done his appearance on Kimmel where he said that he still is Team Luigi, supporting Luigi Mangione, but that's a whole different subject.
Well, all going. Somebody pressed record. I mean, okay. It's not a
All right.
Chocolate Factory. But you are killing it. Number one, I'll get this out of the way.
This feels very parole board right now. Like I feel like to sell my.
Have you ever been in trouble? Have you ever been arrested?
Yeah, but I mean, just bullshit, but not like serious stuff. You go to jail, not prison.
What did you?
You
get
went to
arrested
jail?
For?
Well, no, just like drinking and driving, just being idiots, getting into fights and stuff, stupid stuff. I only went like one time.
Wait, then how many charges did you have for that one time?
No, it's just drinking and driving.
Oh.
It wasn't a big deal in the 80s. There was plenty, like people were
drinking
more,
and driving.
Well, people were more disposable back then. I feel like there wasn't they didn't care as much.
Did you have an accident?
Because there wasn't like a.
By the way, what is the setup on this podcast? Like, seriously, what are we doing here? Like, for one thing, in the wide shot, like, look at the distance between Homeboy and the actual like set and everything. Like, what is this?
First of all, I want to say that I watched you.
Anyway, so we're gonna skip to the actual moment here because the whole podcast itself is quite awkward, and Bill Burr, who is pretty great just on his own podcast, is struggling to make hay out of the conversation with Howie Mandel. It's not a great listening experience, which is probably why, if this was all work, they injected this into it. So let's see, are we getting close? All right, yeah, we're getting close. Okay.
Oh, that's funny.
And then I went outside and I fucking, I don't know, something. How are you? You know how this town works.
That's fucking. They own everything. They run it all.
You know what? And so many people need to come out here. And like the fact that anyone would ever think that there's any sort of organization to show business, this is the biggest. You're on your fucking own.
Always.
On top one day, crash and burn. Nobody gives a.
Look at that. Look at that set. It's terrible. I would not want to host or be a part of a show where this is the setup. That must be more tech driven than anything else. Anyway, sorry, I'm getting away from the point.
Fuck about you. The fact that there would be like some sort of like any group of people looking out for anybody else is one of the funniest. The fucking shit that happened in basically in all businesses. Like whoever's watching this, whatever business you are in, it's all cutthroat at this point. It's all.
Okay, let's get to the actual thing here. All right.
The way it was in, you put it on top of you.
Nothing's
coming
working.
from a place of love.
It is?
Yeah.
Well, I want to do something out of a place of love. I got something special that I planned for you out of a place of love.
I'm already uncomfortable.
You seem to be
this
relaxed.
Is why I think it's got to be a work.
I got something that I planned for you. Bring in the surprise that I did. I did an episode.
T-shirts.
This is man-made. This is man-made. Maybe by one man.
Oh, all right. Who's this guy?
This is Seth. He's our camera guy. And look who's here.
Oh, hey, what's up?
Sit down.
You're an asshole.
Billy Corgan.
Ooh.
Billy Corgan.
Immediate.
I'm an asshole.
Yeah,
I thought this would be great to bring a family together.
Well, he didn't tell you. He told me you were totally cool with me coming.
That's what he does. That's what he does.
I thought it would be a good surprise.
Can this be like edited out, or no?
I can go. I mean, you told me Bill was.
All right, fuck it. No, I'll do it. Like, did you ever think the fact that I never told that story, that maybe you shouldn't? Did you ever? You know how many fucking like emails and crap that I got? Like, I sort of like went away from that.
So let me just fill in. Let me just fill in.
Do we talk on a regular basis?
We've never met.
So Billy Corgan was nice enough on my podcast to talk about the fact that he told a story that he had never told before, that his father traveled.
My stepmother said to me, "Do you know who Bill Burr is? Bill Burr might be one of the children that your father sired in his days on being a traveling musician."
If you do the math,
he was a piece of shit. And he had two kids this close together, and he named them the same fucking name. He thinks it's different because he's Billy and I'm Bill. Like, that's how he told the difference.
Well, I was Bill when I was young. But you're right. I mean, with all respect.
I just thought.
All right. Well, whatever. You know, it's not that I don't like him. It reminds me of all of that shit. So, you know,
it just seems more of the same from what I've been hearing.
All right, whatever. I mean, I like your music.
Appreciate that.
Okay, great.
Would you? Oh, you know what'd be cool if you let your brother play drums.
Well, the fact that he said he can't sing, I think that sort of disproves that we're really.
Okay, so I gotta at least try to jump in here and disprove or prove this in some way. Let's look at. All right, let's first just do some Wikipedia. All right. Billy Corgan, born 1967. Bill Burr, born 1968. So technically, he would be the older of the two. Born in Canton, Massachusetts. He's born in Chicago, Illinois. His father, Robert, was a dentist, and his mother, Linda Ann, was a nurse. Doesn't say that at all. Where is Robert? I don't And now let's look at Billy Corgan. Oldest child of Martha Louise Corgan Lutz and guitarist William Dale Corgan. His father was a musician, was often away. When Billy was 9, his father and his stepmother, who Billy considers to be his mother, split. Billy grew up an hour away from both of his natural parents. When Billy's father and stepmother separated, all three boys lived alone with their stepmother. So, I mean, the only way that this can work out is either Billy Corgan is Billy Corgan's illegitimate, Billy Corgan's father is Bill Burr's illegitimate father, and Bill Burr was raised by someone other than his biological father. That's the only way I see this working.
Come on. Because I'm not funny, right? You know what I mean? So it goes both ways.
But the way that these two are behaving is like, I mean, they're not. It's toeing the line. It's toeing the line between a work and a shoot. Oh shit! What did I do? Oh crap! Oh, almost unplugged something. It's toeing the line between a work and a shoot for sure. In wrestling parlance, a work is something faked, something not real, fabricated, made up, pretend, fugazi, and shoot is something actually being done in something real happening in front of your eyes. So, and then there are things called a worked shoot, where it's something that is made to look like it's real, but is not actually real, to blur the lines. And I think that's what we're seeing here.
Listen, you've done well for yourself. I'm happy for you. You know, but I just would prefer if you just kind of didn't go around. No, not telling these fucking stories. Like, why did you feel the need to do that?
Okay, can I give you the setup on all this? Because it's his fault.
You can do whatever you want because you kind of already did that.
Okay, I'm trying to be respectful.
Now you are.
Okay, no, wait. He told me you were cool with me.
You're a Cubs fan? That fucking tracks.
Theo Epstein.
Fucking Wrigleyville. Bunch of cunts. Southside's where it's at. What's up?
Do you want me to tell the story?
Yes.
Okay. So, he owns about 80 buildings in this area. I don't know if you know how rich he is. But anyway, so I was working in another building of his, and I came out the building, and the first thing he said to me was, "Here comes Bill Burr." And I said, "Do you know that story somehow?" And he said, "What story?" So I told him privately that story. Mm-hmm. He said, "Oh, you got to say this on the air."
Yeah, but he always does that. Because that's the thing. He's bringing in here... Not because he's trying to heal the bullshit that we went.
Look at the cutback.
Because that's the thing.
Look in the eyes. Look in the eyes. He's just watching this play out. I don't know. I feel like if it was truly a work, then they wouldn't be able to like control themselves. They would be like constantly like jumping in, but they're not.
He's bringing in here. Not because he's trying to heal the bullshit that we went through growing up. He's getting here just for the fucking ratings. I mean, the guy literally accepted a fucking award in the middle of a podcast. I'm supposed to be promoting my special, and he's over here like...
You can do it. March 14th on Hulu.
Like, that's going to help now?
I still love you, though. Even though you did
But
this.
It's not about me.
Okay, so now what was supposed to happen? Are we going to go play catch? We're both in our 50s.
My arm is still good. I gotta say.
Do you like wrestling?
Like what kind of wrestling? the real shit or like the WWE? The WWE, I love that.
Okay, I own the NWA, which is the oldest wrestling organization in the world.
All right, that's I respect that.
He won't come. He won't come to a show, but at least you would. Would
you go to one of his events?
The way that he's holding himself back and not saying a lot of stuff, because I feel like if this had all been a work, he would just be like going after it, like getting after it, But the fact that he's like not going for punchlines.
An NWA
event. Yes,
it's wrestling.
Oh, wrestling. Yeah. He's busy.
I don't know. He's busy. He's busier than God. This guy. No. I can't even believe you got him in here. To set this up.
Do you want to?
You set us both up.
I know. Does YouTube give you fucking awards for
setups?
Healing fathers who secretly have two families?
This is some Dr. Phil shit you got going on here.
Yeah, thank you.
I think that you guys should take a moment.
I think we're on the same page, thinking that you're kind of a dick right now.
I think you're a dick too.
See, and this is where I kind of feel like it's probably a work.
What did you have to do with this?
Yeah, you didn't know he was going to do this, right? Mm-mm. Whatever. But I don't have any at some point we will hang out. I don't think on a podcast to try to fucking.
This is where it starts.
Oh, you
Sonny, play
too,
something.
Huh? No, it's just I don't want to talk about it because he's a germaphobe. But
you're sick?
I've gotten over being sick. Stop. This is just the remnants of a lifetime of screaming.
Yeah, that's what we have in common.
I thought this would go someplace. I thought this would go like...
I mean, if you'd see the barrage of texts I got this morning, you got to come in, Bill will love it, he's cool with it, and the whole thing.
All right, so I'm not upset with you then, because I thought that this was like your idea.
No, he totally set me up.
I'm sorry. I just thought it was more important to bring family
you walk
together.
through the door, how's your wife? My wife's pregnant. How's your wife?
Yeah, he's having a baby.
Kids?
You have your family's
you want some
growing,
free underwear?
Bill. She's late.
That's funny.
Third semester.
That's funny.
Trimester.
Third semester.
He doesn't even give a shit. This is the thing that throughout my career, the amount of people that have done this to me, and then you know what's funny? This is going to probably maybe make us better or maybe fuck us up, but I can guarantee you about 20 minutes after we walk out of here, he's not going to remember.
Remember what? Trimester.
He's going to be standing there gazing with his arms behind his back, looking at his YouTube plaque.
His kingdom.
Yeah. How are your kids? Do they like you as a dad?
They do. I'm an old. You were talking about old dad. I'm an old dad.
His kids don't like him.
She just called me a dick. This is just uncomfortable. I thought this would be like a warm.
You're always trying to bring families together. That's what you do.
I thought I did something good.
People
and
that don't want to
to
be brought together.
It's not that I don't want to. It's just like this. I don't think that this was the situation, but I am happy.
Let's take a look down in the comments and see what we're seeing in the comments here. Yeah, this was a legendary bit. Billy Corgan pulls it off great. One of the greatest podcasts ever. It's only 24 hours old. There you go.
Though that I have evolved as much as a person that I'm able to sort of like fucking handle because I don't want to like get mad at you because of our dad or whatever. But like,
why don't you talk more? And Sonny, why don't you play some beautiful like mood like family? You just,
dude, you are such a dick. You know, I never thought that, you know, when I finally would meet you, that there would be like cameras on and this fucking asshole here, who, you know, let's be honest, has always been a bit of a lounge act. He held on to that St. Elmo's Fire. What was the name of the thing that you were in?
St. Elmo's Fire.
It's not about me.
Huh?
Now, it's not about me.
Dude,
it's about
I'm not
you
doing
two.
this. I'm not
it's
doing
about
this.
you two.
Everything is a fucking
Billy,
bit with you.
It's not a bit.
All right, what are you doing after this? You want to hang out after this?
Well, I'm a vegan. That's probably a problem, I'm going to guess. You strike me as someone who likes red meat.
All right, shots fired.
No, is that true? I don't know.
I can have a cup of coffee while you eat your fucking Brussels sprouts.
That's the best moment of this entire thing, and that's I can't say whether or not it's real or not.
Oh, I can have a cup of coffee while you eat your fucking Brussels sprouts. That's not COVID, is it?
No. No, it's the new one.
Is that your wife's jacket? What fucking Norwegian country were you in when you? Oh yeah, you look so great in that. TGI Fridays, it becomes a nightclub on the weekends.
You guys aren't getting along.
He's doing,
I'm not.
He's just fine with me. It's all good.
Can you give me a fucking second?
All right.
Your kids have cousins.
Keep the music
now.
going, Sonny.
You know what it is?
What?
It's you're not the guy to do this. This fucking music. You're not the fucking. You don't have. This is outside your skill set. Because the first thing you needed to do was to actually give a fuck, and you don't. Because everything is funny to you, and that's why I said you'd suck in a musical, because it would be too silly for you. And then you brought up the fact
it's about him
that you were on Grey's Anatomy with fucking an unknown George Clooney at that point.
And the idea that Billy doesn't have more. So I mean, I don't know. Now I'm kind of coming around just because there's dedication to the bit, and then there's also just like you would try to get more. You'd try to get more shots in, you know. I gotta know more.
Dude, when is the bit over?
It's never over.
It's never over. All right. Well, if you got any tours coming up that maybe, you know.
I mean, they're done.
Well, I think that is good enough to say that it's probably just a bit, but
now, I mean, this is the end of that.
Okay.
Are you gonna watch the new special, Billy? You gonna watch your brother? You gonna watch?
He doesn't
March
need
14th
to. He doesn't
on Hulu.
need to. I've heard your music.
Thank you.
You're a little more successful
Do you
than
have
I
any
am.
New York trips coming up? He's gonna be on Broadway.
Dude, this is like you haven't gone far enough at this point. I mean, when
okay,
is the
now
fucking?
I'm fully
And that's
into,
it's
like,
becoming
it's a
funny
bit.
now. Now I don't give
It's
a
a
fuck.
bit.
It's so fucking ridiculous with the piano that it's. I'm forgetting that what you did is really fucking rude.
Yeah.
You got any razor blades?
Yeah.
This is beautiful.
Because it's not that he's bothered by like having like his drama like put out on the front street or anything. It's that he's bothered by somebody suggesting that he has an illegitimate family, or that his father has an entire other family. Which would, I mean, you know, admittedly, like, if somebody accused my father of doing that, like, on a podcast, I would not be nearly as entertaining as Bill is right now.
You know what?
Is this giving you an idea for an album that has a theme?
No, it's making me want to jump off a roof.
Here's what I'm going to do.
All right,
And I'm going to
to
leave you two. And you're going to leave you two. I'm going to tell people, like my viewers, to subscribe and to comment and whatever, but I'm going to leave you two together in the room, and we shouldn't be part of this. Yes.
No, this is.
Can I be honest with you, dude?
Yes.
I've seen some people whore out moments in show business. How long have you been doing this? I've been in it
35 years.
30. I got 33. This is the biggest fucking.
See, there he goes to count his stock portfolio.
I know.
You guys.
You know what he's gonna do? He's gonna go. He's going to go raise his rent for someone fucking whose house just burnt down. All right.
Anyway.
So, what was your relationship with Dad?
It was difficult. It was difficult.
What did he tell you he did for a living?
He was a musician, traveling, you know, kind of club musician. Never got above the clubs.
Well, he played piano, saxophone.
No, just guitar.
Well, in my house.
Oh, sorry.
Are you serious?
Oh.
He told me he couldn't play guitar because his fingers were too fat. All right. Well, yeah, it was fucking weird, but you know what's funny though is if we were born during the internet, like he wouldn't. I don't feel like you can get away with that anymore. Like at some point, it did become funny to me that he had multiple families. There was something like wild about that, having to just trying to sustain one family. I'm kind of forgetting we're on a podcast right now. Trying to just sustain one family to actually. I mean, he must have been going, I got a gig on the road, but he's coming home with no fucking money because he's got to go out. Hey, well, at least we broke that cycle, huh?
Here we are.
Here we are. And at least we're not like on some fucking awful network show judging plate spinners or whatever the fuck Howie's career has become.
He's done well, though.
No, you can tell he's self-conscious because he pulled out an award right in the middle of this.
I saw that.
It kind of looked like he made it too. All right, like I don't know what else. You know what I do relate to you is you do seem shut down emotionally.
Billy Corgan's got nothing.
What's all within?
Which is a huge relief. So you chose music and I went comedy.
Yeah, I think it's worked out better for you than for me.
I don't think so.
You don't
because
think so?
I thought your music, like you helped people.
Because it's like, where would you go from, like, you'd have to have somewhere that you would want to go from here if this I'm sorry, I'm getting my words mixed up. If this was real and Corgan was like, had been told that like everything was cool, then he would and Bill was participating, which to this extent he is. They would start giving more details and whatever, and beyond just the fact that, you know, apparently his father is an asshole. But I don't know.
Sort of pointing the finger.
They're not doing that
for quite some time.
Yes.
Or whatever. This is completely off subject, but I see that camera right there? I saw somebody restore an old camera. That's how I keep the demons.
Okay.
I death scroll on Instagram and
Do you collect old cameras? Because I do.
No, but I have an appreciation for them.
I have like 100 old cameras, swear to God.
You do?
Yeah.
I like old
There's
shit.
the genetics again.
There's the genetics. And I would imagine you have a bunch of older guitars.
See, when I came in here the first time, that's what he had on the wall.
Oh, yeah.
He had already prepared that before I walked through the door.
Well, that was
the
our
first time.
That was our picture, not knowing that he was going to do this to us.
Yes.
You guys got a little more pigment on your side of the family, huh? All right.
You got the better teeth, though, I think.
Well, my dad told us he was a dentist, so he didn't do the whole fucking musician
There
thing.
we go. Okay.
I actually think he was forced into being a dentist by his crazy parents. But I think he wanted to be a musician, so I think at least he was living the life Or pretending to be living. I mean, what do you do but laugh?
Okay,
it's
this
so
is
fucked
100%
up.
a bit.
Anyway, I feel like I don't want to go any further with this. I think we played along long enough, Howie. Can you come back in and shut off this fucking music? What do you do when you hear bad music like this? Does this inspire you? Now, who the hell is this guy?
There's one more Billy.
Oh my
Billy
God!
Bush.
I was gonna say you look like that guy that got fired from E.
Fired like a dog.
There you go, Billy Bush.
I don't even know what the hell is going on now.
Hi, Billy Bush.
The Billies are all here.
Yes, but you have a good, look at this head of hair, though.
Yeah, we're definitely
Sorry
not
about
related.
the hair.
Your dad is a Kennedy. I think one of them had their way with your kid at fucking Kenny Bunkport or something.
Wait, why do you guys look so much alike, though? Two legends.
Because we have the same father, you idiot. You haven't been listening?
No, I've been doing work in the next room. You got the same father?
Wait a minute.
He works for Howie, too.
You work for Howie Mandel?
Howie's the Fred Trump of this place. He is I rent a little space from Howie. We all rent from Howie.
Can I tell you
He's the
something?
landlord.
Until I met you today, I thought my next benefit was going to be about people who lost their homes.
We're learning so much about the podcasting world. So, yeah. So this almost certainly was a bit. Yeah. So I don't think there's any truth to this whatsoever. But it's gonna be great, and it's gonna be fun watching the entire internet, or at least the comedy sphere, react to the idea that it is in fact happening. But yeah, so yeah, to give you guys a little bit of an update, as I am continuing to work on other Unhinged episodes. The one that I've got my focus on right now is the Bill O'Reilly. We'll do it live. Let's just pull that up just for a quick reminder. We all remember this guy.
That's tomorrow, and that's tomorrow, and that is it.
Okay. In 5, 4, 3.
That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. And we will leave you with a. I can't do it.
Okay.
We'll do it live.
Okay. No.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it, and we'll do it live.
Right.
Fucking thing sucks.
In 5, 4, 3.
That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. I'm Bill O'Reilly. Thanks again for watching. We'll leave you with Sting and a cut off his new album. Take it away.
Oh, we can't miss that. Okay, so what do we know?
Yeah.
So what I've got so far, and I don't have much, but what I got is good. I've been researching when this actual episode could have taken place so that I can try to narrow down and actually find the episode from CBS, which once I do that, I will reach out to CBS and be able to bring that to you. But basically, I've been doing research on the actual show itself, trying to find as many episodes as I can. And what I've been able to do, at least in part, is narrow down
O'Reilly
when we have this set. Okay? Because this is the set where it happens. Okay? So there's a lot of different, there's going to be a lot of different variations in how the video looks, because this is probably a transfer of a transfer of a transfer of a VHS tape of a Betamax of a Betacam of whatever. So we know that later episodes don't have this set. They actually use a newer one. Let's find this 1994 one. this
You are
weird.
watching Inside Edition, and still to come, did actress Marie...
So apparently, the show moved to the West Coast and started doing its episodes from the West Coast. So this would have happened from the New York feed. So that basically can kind of put us up to a certain period of time. So this is a June of 1994. So that can kind of. So we're gonna cap ourselves at summer 1994. Would have been when they switched over to the West Coast. So, which brings us back to this set, which doesn't appear before 1992 and doesn't appear after summer of 1994. So then we got to look at Sting. So when is Sting releasing, or what Sting album would have been new during that time period? All right, well, let's look at his discography. And we got 1991, The Soul Cages. And then a couple years later, in 1993, we've got 10 Summoner's Tales. That is our album. So then we've got singles from 10 Summoner's Tales that all came out in between 1992 and 1993. So the first song off the album technically was It's Probably Me. However, that was released in 1992 as a part of Lethal Weapon 3's soundtrack, so I don't think it's that song. If anything, it would be If I Ever Lose My Faith in You, which did have a cool, music video, and would have technically been the first single off of the album. So, if anyone out there happens to have some connections at A&R Records that would know when this went out for publicity, that's what we've been trying to find. So I did a little digging, and I'm not going to name any names. I'm not going to, give up any actual, I'm not going to tell you who these people are, but I've been able to find some people who worked for A&R Records during that time, and I reached out to them, and this person didn't know, but they did come and give me some additional names to reach out to. So I reached out to those names. And one person was helpful and did get back to me, but she didn't actually have any information, just had some more names to reach out to. And then haven't really had a response from anybody else up to that point. There was a previous article on this moment, and so there's a woman who has spoken about this and was aware of it when it happened, and I'm trying to get a hold of her. So that would be Teresa McCown, or McCown. So hopefully I can get in contact with her. There's also the producers of Inside Edition itself that I've been trying to reach out to. Let's see if we've got that anywhere. So we got John Tomlin. Sheila Satomer actually reached out to, and she declined, did not want to participate or help us out in any way. So, and of course, she's a professor of, journalism. So one of the key things for teaching journalism is to never be a source, never give anybody information, and don't participate in anything. So good job there, Sheila. But hopefully you'll reach out or participate later once I've got more information. Charles Lockman, who is actually married to Nancy Glass, I'm reaching out to them. Larry Israel, I've also reached out to him. I have a feeling like I'm not gonna get a lot of response from the Inside Edition people, because it's basically I'm putting their biggest embarrassment on Front Street. But we'll see. So anyway, I am willing to say that this Billy Corgan brother story is a complete work. And I think if anybody tries to portray it as real, I think you can refer back to this and refer back to the fact that their parents seem to be completely different people. So yeah. But otherwise, keep an eye out for new episodes on the channel. I'm going to be working on the Bill O'Reilly episode, as well as some others, based on how much I can actually new information I can bring to you people and bring to these stories. I'm certainly going to work on it, but until then, thank you guys so much for watching. And if you do have any information on the Bill O'Reilly We'll Do It Live rant, please reach out to me. You can find me at marshall.dungan@gmail.com. You can find me on Twitter at Medium Shot Marshall on Twitter, and also on Blue Sky, mediumshotmarshall.bluesky.whatever. So yes, I really want to put together a great episode for this, and it's going to be great, but got to put in the work. So thank you guys so much. I'll talk to you later.